We here. This is an attempt
to collect a debt.
To collect a debt. Man, I tell y'all what, y'all are off the chain. Isn't that right? Y'all better be glad I'm here to keep y'all in line. What will y'all do next around this place? All right. We're going to go. You got my pen over here for me? All right. Y'all know where we going. Chris, where we going to? I'm going to let Chris tell me. Where we going, Chris? Give me some, baby boy. That's it. What's the other name for it? That's right. Your Yukonon. We'll put up Yah. I had to think in my mind. Your Yukonon. Nikki, you got something to write that down so you can learn these words? They need to get you a pen and paper. You gonna let that child gonna keep you aggravated. You gonna feed him the whole time while you watching? Don't tell me to give you a paper you write. You want to learn this. Anytime you want to go somewhere, if you can't, you want to learn about the name, we're gonna teach you about the name, teach you about the language, so you got something you can substantiate what you believe. Y'all got me? If you're gonna be saved, you got to believe as the scripture has said. What a lot of times people do is customarily as Christians, we just fall into a place and we just lay dormant. We just don't actually go to actually receive or retrieve anything. Most of the time people go play, you just looking to try to hoping something miraculous is going to happen. And that some kind of spirit going to overtake you. Anytime the spirit going to overtake you, you're going to be in position. Y'all got me? And position yourself for the spirit to overtake you is learning about the spirit. Y'all got me? And so that means going to lead us to Yukonon chapter 6 and verse 44. Listen to the book.
No man can come to me.
No man can come unto me.
Except the Father, which have sent me, draw him.
We talked about it again. That's the attraction. Isn't that right? There's got to be a calling. Listen.
And I will raise him up at the last day.
Tell them what's written, son.
It is written in the prophets.
What's going to happen?
And they shall be all taught of Yahuwah.
They shall all be taught of Yahuwah. Again, need to learn the name of the Father, Yahuwah. All the time we had to go back over this, don't we? But you know what? Somebody got to learn. This won't always. It ain't gonna always be like that. Isn't that right? Take advantage of it while you got a chance. It's written in the prophets that they all have to learn of Yahuwah. If you learn about this guy, of course I'll write it small because I really don't care anything about him. Is that how they spell his name? Yeah, Yahweh, nothing. Absolutely nothing. This is going to be just error because of the last part. It's just going to be complete error. Isn't that right? That's why we talk about it being a restricted way. It's a way that we got to know exactly what it is and how to pronounce it and how to serve in it and know about it. So it's written in the prophet that we all have to learn of Yahuwah. Tell them what happened, son.
Every man, therefore,
that had learned,
that have heard,
and
have learned of the Father,
and have learned of the who?
Father.
Tell them where they come to, son.
Unto me.
They're going to come unto Yahusha. That's where you're going to come to once you learn the Father. You're going to come to Yahusha, which means now, we talked about on last week a little bit, we started dealing with the name. Here, what do we have, brethren? The yard. Uh-oh. My D don't look as pretty as it ought to look. But then again, that ought to make a couple other people feel at home. Isn't that right? So you know everything ain't pretty, but it's right. We deal with the yard. So when we deal with the yard, we started to talk about before on last week concerning the yard. Did we not? Amen. What did we learn about the yard? We learned about the arm. This is what we find out when we deal with the yard. This is the picture form of the yard, which would be the arm of the sex or the male sex organ. We talked about that, right? What would the male sex organ need in order for it to become fruitful, productive? It's got to have the mem. It's got to have the mem, because this is going to be the semen, right? This is what's going to come. We find the mem. We're going to find a couple other things that we're going to have. We're going to find it's going to also mean floods. Isn't that right? Streams, right? Concerning water. This is going to be important. Put me up at the book of Talahim. Tal-Halim. For those that don't know, of course, you're going to call this Psalms. Tal-Halim, chapter 1. Tal-Halim, chapter 1. Listen.
At verse 1.
At verse 1.
Blessed is a man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly,
That's right.
nor standeth in the way of sinners,
Nor standeth in the way of sinners.
nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful.
Yes.
But his delight is in the law of Yahuwah,
His delight is in the law of Yahuwah. Come on.
and in his law doth he meditate day and night.
Tell him what happened, son.
And he shall be like a tree planted by the rivers of water.
He's going to be like a tree planted by the rivers of what?
Water,
Tell him what happened, son.
that bringeth forth his fruit in season.
So when you look at him talking about that tree being planted by the rivers of water, that water will act somewhat as semen. Huh? It's going to help for the ground become fertile. Right? Y'all all right? Amen. Even with blood, guess what you got in it? Water. And semen, you're going to have blood. But you're going to have water inside of blood as well. These guys heard semen. He's singing, bro, about lose their mind. Semen, everything ain't be semen. Calm down. But you start to look at, he talking about he going to be like a tree planted by the rivers of what was again, son?
Water.
Tell him what it do.
That bringeth forth his fruit in his season.
He going to do what now?
That bringeth forth his fruit in his season.
Let me see what else it says. Something come to mind. Let me see if he said it. Listen.
His leaf also shall not wither.
That's important. I don't know why that came to mind. That's very important. Now, we'll hold that. Because that's going to put us somewhere. The yard. Here. But dealing with the yard, we got to deal with what else, brother? The dollar. Well, of course, we got the olive, but we deal with the dollar. We'll deal with the dollar. The reason why we're going to deal with the dollar, because he started to talk about something here. He started talking about his tree. He was going to be like a tree planted by the rivers of water, who's going to bring forth his fruits and do what? And do when?
In his season.
In his season. Tell him what's going to happen.
His leaf also shall not wither.
That's why it's important for you, because dollar also means leaves. It also means leaves. See, that's when you start dealing with his name. It's like dipping with. So you start talking about, who are they going to be talking about? Who could they possibly talk about in the book of Talahim, chapter 1? He's going to be like a tree planted by the rivers of water. Then we find out he's going to bring forth his fruit in due season. On top of that, he's going to tell you, for whatever reason, guess what ain't going to happen? The dollar. It ain't going to wither. Well, I guess it ain't important for people to know stuff like that. Let's see what he told us. Say that in Revelation chapter 22, verse 1. Kazum, exactly. Kazum. Kazum. Kazum, chapter 22 at verse 1. Listen.
And he shewed me a pure river of water.
Tell
of
him what
life.
happened, son. He showed me a river of water of life. So we're going to still go back to where, brethren? Going back to the mean. Well, right back to the mean. What happened, son?
Clear as crystal.
Clear as crystal.
Proceeding out of the throne of Yahuwah and of the Lamb.
Listen.
In the midst of the street of it, and on either side of the river, was there the tree of life.
Well, look what was on the side of it. It was the tree of life. Listen. Otherwise, you give me your Yukonon chapter 5, verse 39 for me. Hold that for me. St. John, for those that don't know, chapter 5, verse 39. Listen.
Which bear 12 manner of fruits.
It does what now?
Bear 12 manner of fruits.
It bear 12 manner of what?
Fruits.
Because we do have 12 tribes. Let's see what else we find out about this tree.
And yielded her fruit every month.
She yielded her fruit every month. And tell them what else about this tree, son.
And the leaves of the tree.
Well, for what?
The healing of the nation.
So this got to put us back at the yard, don't it? This got to put us back at the yard. So you start to look at his name just on breakdown, just on the formalities, and when you look at it, it all makes sense when you're dealing with him. Let me tell you something else interesting about him when you start to deal with the dollar. Pick me up at Revelation 22. We still at 22?
Yes.
Since we found about the leaves of the tree for the healing of the nation, pick me up at the 22nd verse. Something else come to my mind. Listen.
Last verse is 21.
Last verse 21, so jump me up at verse 18. Listen.
For I testify unto every man that heareth the words of the
So make
prophet.
that 21 is what I want then. 21 and about 20. Listen.
The fifth sardonyx the sixth sardius, the seventh chrysolite, the eighth beryl, the ninth a topaz, the 10th a chrysoprase, the 11th a jacinth, the 12th an amethyst, and the 12 gates were 12 pearls.
And the 12 gates were 12 pearls.
Every several gate was of one pearl.
Come on.
And the street of the city was pure gold.
And the streets of the city were pure gold.
As it were transparent glass.
Come on.
And I saw no temple there.
You saw no what?
No temple there.
Tell them why.
Therein.
You saw no temple therein. Tell them why.
For Elohim and the Lamb are the temple of it.
They are the Beth. One of the definitions you're going to get for your alphabet, the Beth. It's going to be temple or house. So we can call him the Beth. He's also he's the olive and the Beth. Because he's the house. He's also the temple. So when you're going to tell me he's the temple, I got to find this word from my olive Beth. And they're going to put me right here to the Beth. So now he's the olive and he's the Beth. Because he's the house, he's the temple. Come on, son.
And the city had no need of the sun.
It had no need of the who?
Sun.
Tell them why, son.
Neither of the moon.
Or what else?
To shine in it.
Listen why.
For the glory of Yahuwah did lighten it, and the Lamb is the light thereof.
I told y'all a black man can be light. We seen that happen right down here. For 3 hours. He blotted out the moon, the sun, and the stars. Isn't that right? So they didn't have no need of it. Said because he was the light of it. In the 17th chapter of the book, pick me up at the 17th chapter of the book of Yucatan. 17:1. Listen.
These words spake Yahusha, and lifted up his eyes to Shamayim, and said,
What
Father,
they would call the heavens. What he told them?
And said, Father, the hour is come.
Yes.
Glorify thy Son.
So far we know he would have said Abba. Father would be something that would be English stuff. So no doubt when you're going to use Father, you're going to say Abba. Come on, son.
That thy Son also may glorify thee.
Now he just told him to glorify thou me so I can also glorify you. What happened?
As thou hast given him power over all flesh.
Did what happened?
That he should give eternal life to as many as thou hast given him.
Yes.
And this is life eternal.
So if he gave him power, what alphabet we looking at? My minister should already be there, shouldn't it? That just said the olive, cuff. Cuff going to deal with the hand. The hand, hollow rock. It's also going to deal with power. The alphabet, one of your definitions for cuff is power. Hollow hand, hollow rock, and power. He just said he done given him power. Over who? Come on.
As thou hast given him power over all flesh.
Yes.
That he should give eternal life to as many as thou hast given him.
And why are we going to believe what he just told us? He just told he done given him power over all flesh. Why are we going to believe that? Because we look at Bereshit. We're going to look at what he gave Adam. Because we can clearly find and define that Adam was the son of Elohim. And he said, let him have dominion over. Let him rule over everything. So when he said it, called him Abba, which meaning you my father, which means I'm your son. And if I'm your son, you've given me power over all flesh. Listen.
And this is life eternal.
That they might do what?
That they might know thee.
The only who?
True Elohim.
And who else?
And Yahusha HaMashiach.
Whom?
Thou hast sent.
What happened, son?
I have glorified thee on the Aritz.
I glorified thee on the Aritz.
I have finished the work which thou gavest me to do.
And I have finished the work which thou hast given me to do.
And now, O Abba, glorify thou me with thine own self.
For what reason?
With the glory which I had with thee.
Before what?
The world was.
Back at the 21st chapter of the book of Kazum. What we left off, verse 21, verse 20?
23.
Let them get it. At the beginning of that verse, listen.
And the city had no need of the sun.
See, the city had no need of the who?
Sun.
What else?
Neither of the moon.
Oh, what else?
To shine in it.
Yes.
For the glory of Yahuwah did lighten it.
Y'all hear the glory of Yahuwah did lighten it?
And the Lamb is the light thereof.
And the Lamb is the light thereof. So the glory that he gave Yahusha, it wound up being the glory of the Father. This is what he said and he prayed for. He said, I want to go back to how it was before the world was, which means wasn't no sun, wasn't no moon, wasn't no stars. Didn't have no need of them.
That's right.
Just like what we learned last night. It was dark to the people that's in darkness. But those that are the light, they had light. He said, them that sat in the region of the shadow of death. He said, light sprung up to them. Y'all all right? Amen. Where are we learning from? In Egypt. We learned that from Egypt. Didn't we? At the book of Shamut. Shamut. Shamut, chapter 10. 10 and about 19. Let's see, that's what I want. Is it 10 and 11 what I want? 21. Somebody say 21. 21. Give me 19. We'll read down. 10 and 19. Listen.
And Elohim,
for those that don't know, Exodus, come on,
turned a mighty strong west wind, which took away the locusts and cast them into the Red Sea. There remained not one locust in all the coast of Egypt.
Yes.
But Elohim hardened Pharaoh's heart, so that he would not let the children of Yashrael go.
Come on.
And Elohim said unto Moshe, stretch out thine hand toward Shamayim, that there may be darkness over the land of Egypt, even darkness which may be felt.
Even darkness that may be felt. Come on.
And Moshe stretched forth his hand toward Shamayim, and there was a thick darkness in all the land of Egypt 3 days.
And there was a thick darkness in the land of Egypt for how long, son?
3 days.
And we wound up getting 3 hours. What happened, son?
They saw not one another, neither rose any from his place for 3 days.
What else happened, son?
But all the children of Yasharal had light.
And the children of Yasharal, listen what happened to them. They had what?
Light in their dwellings.
In their dwelling. Come on.
And Pharaoh called unto Moshe and said,
okay, that's enough of that one. The reason why I had to go here, because it kind of ties us back into what we heard when it came to Yeshayahu's prophecy. When he started to talk about them, those that sat in the regions of the shadow of death, because they dwelt in what land, brother? They dwelt in Goshen. Goshen was on the outskirts of Egypt. That's why they had light. So when we heard the prophecy about Yeshayahu, and then Mattheyahu came along to tell us the same thing. Let's pick it up again. Mattheyahu. So you're not working there. Y'all ain't doing that. I mean, just, okay, this we might keep. He can go. We'll probably keep that. And this joke of him, this is good. The joke is at the end. Isn't that right? Kind of like when some of them fellas go to the bathroom, the joke is at the end. Where are we at over here? Mattheyahu. Oh, yeah, I thought we'll keep him. Them good guys, them the good guys. This is Mattheyahu chapter 4 at verse 12. Again, when we go through and we start to read things in the scripture, or when we start to read what they call the Gospels and start reading epistle letters, the only thing that actually gives credence to it for us is to be able to go back and find a pattern of behavior in the scripture. Just like we read all the time in Yahusha chapter 6, where he said, every man therefore that had heard and learned of the Father coming unto me, which means the creatures he made had to know him, in order for them to say, go see Adam. Because if I don't know you, you tell me go somewhere and see somebody, first of all, who are you? Second of all, I'm definitely not going to see no Adam, because I don't know you. We found this same pattern of behavior when it came down to Egypt. That's right, with Pharaoh. When he told him, thus saith Yahuwah, let my people go, he said, who is he that I should serve him, that I should obey him? See, that's a pattern of behavior that a lot of you guys have. You just not conscious of it. Isn't that right? Because he go and tell you, thus saith, you ought to be doing. That's something people don't consider. When you find a lot of time, you'll find that term. It's amazing they come along and they say that. Let me think. Say that the 5th chapter right quick of the book of Shemot before we move on. Hold me that 4. The 4th chapter of the book of Mattheyahu, verse, 12? Hold that for me. Let me see the 5th chapter of the book of Shemot. the book of Shemot, chapter 5 and verse 1. Listen.
And afterward, Moshe and Aaron went in and told Pharaoh, Thus saith Yahuwah, Al-Ahim of Yasharal, let my people go, that they may hold a feast unto me in the wilderness.
Yeah.
And Pharaoh said, Who is Yahuwah, that I should obey his voice to let Yasharal go?
See, that's where a lot of us come in. So you can see where he started to differentiate between the children of Yashrael and a sinner. Because you can see him when he heard, which means he hadn't heard and he hadn't learned. That's why he wasn't going to obey. Isn't that right? That's why we start to look at the pattern. It's so important and imperative when we go back over these things, as common as it might seem, because we read it so many times, that you really get a comprehension to what it is you're saying, you're hearing. As simple as it sounds, it's people that watch me and know exactly what I'm saying. You know what they're doing right now? They're in barbershops cutting hair. And they said it's the truth, though. They hit hard. If people watching me right now, you know what they're getting ready to do when they get through out there? Going to work. Which means you hadn't heard and you hadn't learned. Because if you do, you coming. Isn't that right? If people watch me now, they're still in adultery. Which means you hadn't heard. If you do, you're going to do just like the animal did when they were created. They heard the command. They told what to do. Let them come forth. When they come forth, which means they heard the command, which means they know the Creator. Then if you know the Creator, you heard his voice, then you're going to go where he tell you to go. You know he ain't told you to go to work today. You know he ain't told you to get in adultery. So at some point, there has to be a change. You guys see here, a lot of times you get trapped in with little things that happen over just being subject and prone to things because you're in the flesh. A lot of times you let these common hang-ups you have, not making enough money as you want, not having a job, a really good job with benefits, not having the best marriage or being in the best relationship, not wearing the best clothes or riding the best cars. Just a lot of health might be as great as you want it to be. But you got a mind to hear the Creator. That's better than everything else you got. You know what Dawood told her? A little. He said, a righteous man have said more than all the treasures of the wicked. There's some people in all the situations you desire. There's some people got it. They ain't got enough sense to hear their gospel, though, and sit down from their job. They ain't got enough sense to stop what they're doing and obey what this book say, though. This is what he told us you got to be able to do. It wasn't a monetary issue. See, where a lot of people get themselves hung up in the monetary issue, that was never the case. That was never the case. In the book of Shemot, we were told concerning when it came down monetary. What was it for? Ransom. What is it? See that the 30th chapter. We're going another way. For them to read, this too much for people to even digest anyway. Let them just a couple more seconds or so. That's all they get, a couple more seconds. We can go ahead and erase. Because a lot of this stuff is over a lot of y'all here. I watch y'all already come in and sleep. I don't know how y'all do it. You should have got out of here. I go to bed. I probably got to bed, but I think probably about 2 o'clock or so. So I've been up since about 6 something. Then I nod in. I had to get up, and I still had to get up and do my job. Blood pressure was high. My wife took my blood 115 something at the bottom, something like that. Still jump up and do my job. I ain't gonna let that make no mistake. Leg hurt. I ain't gonna take away from what I got to do though. Unlike a lot of you get to sit here. You ain't got to do no work, but write down what I put on the board. Flip to whatever I tell you. I got to remember, think, stay focused, and still leave here. You know what I got to put? Everything else you got to put it aside. That's book. He said you got to lay aside what was it? Weight and what else? Those things are weight. Just like a lot of y'all, you worry about relationship, you worry about money, you worry about all these things. He told you what to do if that's your main concern. Seek ye first the kingdom and his righteousness. He said, all that I add to you. Huh? A lot of stuff I do monetarily to try to go and do things, it because for a lot of y'all are faint. A lot of y'all are faint. You ain't got no survival skill to get there for yourself. The stuff I do where I don't have to do it. I really don't have to do a lot of stuff I do. I just ain't got to do it. You know what I'm saying? I position myself where a lot of stuff I really ain't got to do, but I do it for the people's sake. I know a lot of y'all, it's kind of like a drug addict. Y'all have seen the movie Malcolm X? When he had to turn around and give him some almost similar to dope just so he can give him to him. He said, after that, I ain't going to give you no more fix. He said, I just gave you that so you can hear him. A lot of stuff I do just so you can sit down and hear. A lot of stuff y'all doing, that's why you don't never comprehend it. You don't never obtain it because you're going about it the wrong way. Y'all make that your whole existence. That ain't your whole existence. Your whole existence is to know your Creator. We got a name that we ain't even dissected. You just add the yard. We touched the D of the yard. We had the dollar. You ain't got a whole understanding concerning the Son. Whatsoever. None. And yet we sit here and we do these things. Y'all fall asleep, you're unconscious, y'all mind on so much stuff, ain't got nothing to do with you being saved. Life is set up with obstacles. They're there for a reason. But it's your job that you got to continue in the faith. Huh? You got to continue in the faith, rooted and grounded. And you know what you can't be? You can't be moved away from the hope of the gospel. Huh? A lot of stuff y'all don't consider. That's just life. I ain't got that morning crying, oh, Lord, why hast thou forsaken me? Or why I have this? Or why? That's what it is. They ain't going to change what I got to do. Before you get that, too, at the 30th chapter, I think I told you to give me the book of Shemot. Jump over and see if that's the 14th chapter book of Acts of the Apostle. Hey, say that 14:23 for me. Make it 14:22. It's all the same word. Man, I set a pattern for y'all, brother. And these sisters, too. Y'all folk make so many excuses, some have something going on. That's just life. At the end of the day, you still got to live right. Ain't that right? Probably in a minute. Yeah, we probably need to turn that on a little bit. Ain't no use of me melting down. Come on. I might make it with one. We'll see if one break it for me. I appreciate y'all. They do a great job, too. Y'all in front, y'all get y'all a bell coat or something out there. Ain't no use of me burning up. I got to work. Isn't that right? Listen to the book.
Confirming the souls of the disciples.
This is what he was doing. Matter of fact, back, what is it, verse 22?
Yes, sir.
Make it 20. Let's see what happened. This is Acts of the Apostle 14, verse 20. Other brother got me, what I told you, Shemot. Is that Shemot chapter 30? What is it, verse 17? 18 is what I want? Should tell them about a ransom for their soul. Is it 30 or 31? Or is it the 18th chapter I wanted, verse 30? Well, figure it out why he do that for me. Come on. What is it? 14:30. 30:14. Thank you. I know I wasn't that far off now. 30:14, he said is what I want. So hold me 30:10. We'll read it. It's all the same word. Appreciate you, Brother Danny. Listen.
Howbeit, as the disciples stood round about him.
That verse 20?
Yes, sir.
That means we're going to come up a little more. We want 18? Give me 18, be fine. Listen. 14, 18. Listen.
And with these sayings, scarce restrained they the people.
That they should do what?
That they had not done sacrifice unto them.
Listen.
And there came thither certain Yahudim from Antioch and Iconium, who persuaded the people, and having stoned Shaul, drew him out of the city,
yes,
supposing he had been dead.
What happened, son?
Howbeit, as the disciples stood round about him,
what happened?
He rose up
and
came into the city.
Yeah.
And the next day he departed with Barnabas to Derbe. And when they had preached the gospel to that city,
what happened, son?
And had taught many,
yeah,
they returned again to Lystra and to Iconium and Antioch,
yeah,
confirming the souls of the disciples and exhorting them to continue in the faith.
What happened?
And that we must, through much tribulation,
do what?
Enter into the kingdom of Yahuwah.
So if I know that, I ain't no use to be doing all that crying and complaining. That's how I'm going to get in. He said, how I'm going to get in? Got to be through much tribulation. That's the way I'm going to get in. A lot of times, the truth be told, a lot of us know how many have been guilty we don't prayed ourselves away from it. Include me. I've been guilty of it. We pray ourselves out of situation. The man just said, how big he confirmed them. Here you laying here dead. Anybody know, first thing you need to be concerned about is yourself. And why they standing around looking anyway. But he got right back up and look at, that didn't change his obligation. He went right on to 3 other cities preaching. And went right back to where he had been stoned, letting them know, that's how we going to get in, through much tribulation. And a lot of times we don't actually consider that. That's why he told us it's important we got to know him. Because to be truthful about it, we don't. We look at him as a burden bearer and all these different things, yeah. But that don't take away the validity of what we got to do in order for us to enter in. You still got stipulation that's required of you. Come on, son. What I had you on? 30th chapter of the book of Shemot. We kind of took a little turn. Let's see where they go anyway. 30th chapter of the book of Shemot, verse 10. Listen to the book.
And Aaron shall make an atonement upon the horns of it once in a
go
year.
Ahead and clear that for me. Come on. And Aaron shall make an atonement on the where?
Upon the horns of it.
On the horns of it.
Once in a year with the blood of the sin offering of atonements.
So that's for atonement. Come on.
Once in a year shall he make atonement upon it throughout your generations.
Come on.
It is the most Kadash unto Yahuwah.
Y'all hear that? It most Kadash unto Yahuwah. So we look at that. That's what we find from him. In the 9th chapter of the book of Abarim, it told her, as it is a what? When was it?
Once.
You had to do it once a year. Isn't that right? That same book of Abarim told us when he did it once and for all. He didn't have to do it though other priests standing day to make those sacrifices. After he offered himself, he sat down. He sat down. Where they say he sat down now?
The right hand.
The hand. That's going to put her back at the cuff. We're going to use the cuff because one of the definitions for cuff is what? Power. So he sat right down at the cuff. Huh? All right, that's where y'all want to do it. It all lined right back up to him. Isn't that right?
Yep.
Listen.
And Yahuwah spake unto Moshe, saying, when thou takest the sum of the children of Yasharal,
Tell her what happened, son.
after their number, then shall they give every man a ransom for his soul.
Now he said, this is what I'm going to need everybody to do. When you start to take the count of these people, I'm going to need everybody here to give a ransom for their soul. Tell them what you need, son.
Unto Yahuwah.
Unto Yahuwah.
When thou numberest them, that there be no plague among them.
Y'all hear that? The reason you were going to pay and you were going to do this, so I didn't put no plague among you. So what happened?
When thou numberest them.
Yes.
This they shall give every one that passeth among them that are numbered.
Yes.
Half a shekel after the shekel of the sanctuary.
He said a half a shekel after the shekel of, after the cost of the sanctuary. Uh-huh.
A shekel is 20 gerahs.
Yes.
And half shekel shall be the offering of Yahuwah.
Y'all hear that? That's going to be the offering of Yahuwah. What he told him to do, son?
Everyone that passeth among them that are numbered, from 20 years old and above,
From 20 years old and above?
shall give an offering unto Yahuwah.
Did I tell you about I just got laid off from my job? What happened, son?
The rich shall not give more, and the poor shall not give less. And
What if I want to give some extra to help Leon out because he ain't got his?
The rich shall not give more.
But I'm in a situation where I could be able to do more than somebody else can do.
The rich shall not give more.
And
The poor shall not give less than half a shekel, when they give an offering unto Yahuwah to make an atonement for your souls.
something y'all ought to be thinking about. You know what they're going to put a person in position to do? The stipulation what he gave you. That's what you got to stay with. Regardless of what your financial situation is, you were told you're going to have to give a half a shekel for your soul. Everybody. The rich wasn't going to give no more and the poor wasn't going to give no less. It was to try to get you to consider something because the redemption of your soul is costly. Redemption of your soul, you're like, man, where in the world I'm going to get that from? You think about where in the world you're going to get another soul at. See, all this was to teach these people something. Whatever you got to do to try to make sure you can get in, you need to try to do it. Because it ain't gonna be no exceptions. When it came down, when he came through and y'all come through and you had to be numbered, you need to have that half a shekel. You getting this to Yahuwah and it's for your soul. Y'all hear me? This is the order that he set and he stipulated for us. But you know what started happening for us, which is just a blessing. We're in a better situation we ever been in our life. Financially. We are in a better situation than we ever been in our life. Tahalim, chapter 49, verse 1. Other brothers, see if that first cuff, chapter 3, and about 9. Tahalim, for those watching in the book of Psalms, they ain't going to get it right no matter what you tell them anyway. Tell the folk call the same book 5 times, they still ain't going to get it right. What he said, Telahala. Yeah, that's what I said, Telahala. Tahalim. Isn't that right? Tahalim, chapter 49, verse 1. Listen to the book.
Hear this, all ye people.
Hear this, all ye people.
Give ear, all ye inhabitants of the world.
Give ear, all ye inhabitants of the world.
Both low and high.
Both low and high.
Rich and poor together.
That's important for you. You just heard about rich and poor. He said the rich and the poor together. Tell them why, son.
My mouth shall speak of wisdom.
My mouth going to speak of wisdom.
And the meditation of my heart shall be of understanding.
Listen.
I will incline mine ear to a parable.
Yes.
I will open my dark saying upon the harp.
I will open my dark sayings upon the harp, which is going to be what? Be marshali. Marshali. That's our word, not parables. Come on.
Wherefore should I fear in the days of evil, when the iniquity of my heels shall compass me about?
Come on.
they that trust in their wealth and boast themselves in the multitude of their riches,
they that trust in their wealth,
and boast themselves in the multitude of their riches,
and boast themselves in the multitude of their riches,
none of them can by any means redeem his brother.
Y'all hear that? You got to think about it. Since I have a little bit more and I can help Leon out who don't quite have it, that puts me in a better situation. And I can sit back to kind of consider, as he told me in the book of Luke, I can sit back and tear down my old barns and build me new barns. And tell my soul to sit back and relax because I got much good laid up for many years. But he said, our food, this night your soul going to be required. Now who you going to get at for which you got laid up? This is important for you. You just don't know it, Jack. Just important for you. He said, none of them. He said, you ain't got enough power to redeem your brother. For the redemption of what was it again, son?
None of them can by any means redeem his brother.
None of them by any means can redeem his brother. Come on, son.
Nor give to Yahuwah a ransom for him.
Yeah.
For the redemption of their soul is precious, and it ceaseth forever.
Y'all hear that? He actually tell you about being precious. It's expensive. That make a lot of stuff precious. Some stuff people don't want you to fool with because it costs too much money. Ain't that right? That thing precious. Don't even fool with it. When it comes to your soul, when you really come back to look at it, it's easy for people to steal and rob to come up with this. It's easy for other people to step in and pay for it, and other people that can afford to pay for it. It's easy for them to sit back and boast in their riches and in their wealth. But he come back to consider he needs you to realize something. At any time, don't be stupid. The redemption of your soul is costly. This is only a form of your obedience. See, he already had set another way up. You just hadn't known it yet. You just didn't know he had already had a plan another way. Be able to get you to get some type of understanding. That's all that was, to get you to bring that half a shekel. I just need you to get some type of understanding how important you are. That's why these people are so comfortable when they go to these churches, because you can come as you are. The Lord understands you just give whatever you got, baby. It ain't even about the money. It's about service the Lord. This is why people say, this is why the average you guys are just set here sinners. Because there's no requirement in your ignorant minds. It makes no sense. There have always been requirements. When that came to offering, they had to meet the stipulations. Anything you're going to bring him, just wait, just hand, just measure. Everything you brought them had to be right. Every sacrifice, at the 17th chapter of the book of Dabarim. Dabarim, Deuteronomy, for those that don't know. And for those that learning, I tell every one of y'all now, if I was y'all, I wouldn't keep sitting around the other pastors you learn from me and you still sit up on them. That don't make no sense. I ain't finna go learn more to sit on my pastor who's going to know less than I'm going to know. It don't make sense. It don't make sense. I had to sit here and clean up all my pastor stuff that I'm learning somewhere else. And still sitting in something going wrong. Don't make sense. What book I told you to get? Dabarim?
17.
17 and 1. Let them get it. Listen.
Thou shalt not sacrifice unto Yahuwah any bullock or sheep wherein is blemish, or any evil favoredness, for that is an abomination unto Yahuwah.
See, they don't even realize that. I'm supposed to bring a tenth of what I got. I ain't got it. I supposed to give him $100. I got 60. That's what I'm going to give him. It's going to be an abomination. That ill favor, because you got your money, right? So why he didn't get his? You got paid what you worked for, didn't you? Well, you know, Uncle Sam them took. I ain't got nothing to do with Uncle Sam. I'm your daddy, boy. If I tell my son them do, I would come to my Uncle Jerry said. I'm your daddy. What you like to tell me what your uncle said? What your uncle took? What did I tell you? Nigga ain't your uncle anyway. He ain't your uncle. What you call him uncle for? These folks see that subliminal message they give you? A lot of folks know. A lot of folks' uncle was just like a daddy to them. A lot of folks' uncle, you had to do what they say. You love, you look up to big uncle. And he called himself uncle. And take everything from you. Rape you and rob you, make a fool out of you. Now we sat back to look at it, man, and said, you going to make an offer. You don't think something wrong with that? I supposed to bring him a bullock in the first year, and it's supposed to be with no defects or whatever. It just got a tail missing. But it got all the legs and everything else in the eyes. What's wrong with it? That's a defect. I supposed to bring him $100, but I'm going to give him 60. Something missing. That means it got some evil favoriness to it. Because that's not whole. It's not complete. When he came to meet people, you know, he asked them, Dave, you want to be made whole or you want to be made partial? So he looking at when you going to do something for him. Matter of fact, he told you to hear the conclusion of the what was it? Part of it? Whole matter. Everything he do complete. When the man was up on the cross, he told y'all it was what? It was finished. I can't go offer none of this man if it's incomplete. That don't even make sense. That's going to be evil favoriness. I'm supposed to be up here from the 6th to the 9th hour. I got to be up here. I got to go through the darkness. I got to go through all the weather of the storm. I can't come down. I got to stay. Yeah. People even told me to come down. They said they didn't believe. But it wouldn't be complete. We've been doing stuff. I'm being honest with y'all. Y'all learning about Hebrew and learning some Hebrew language, learning the Hebrew language, becoming familiar with it, learning some of the alphabet, and then you getting information concerning the scripture. But the truth be told, y'all not actually functioning in it, though. That makes a major difference. What good is it to know all this and you can't function in it? What the man done told you this abomination. How many times you been guilty of bringing abominable things to this man? That's just trying to get you to look at the redemption of your soul costly. Now, you sat here and you've been guilty of bringing abomination. Now, what you going to bring from the atonement? What are you bringing to make amends? Nothing. Same thing you've been doing. Keep getting more abomination. Keep doing the same thing he told you not to do, which means you're not actually functioning with what you know. The whole purpose of learning this is a discipline to it. There's a discipline to this language. There's a discipline to this book. There's a behavior. The discipline should yield a behavior. What's the purpose of you chastising the child? To do what? To do what? To behavior? To change the behavior. You got to, come on, you know, I don't speak Japanese, man. You got to come on. It's our ta-ta-ta. I don't know what that is. Change the behavior. So that's the whole purpose of it. It's the form of discipline is to get a person to turn from something or get a person to perform something. Y'all got me? Even with slaves, that was the purpose of them beating you. It was to get you to perform a task. Then we learned from him being a father. He said, what father don't chasten a son? He said, but if it wait, what does it do? It yields the peaceable fruits. That's important for you. It yields the peaceable fruits. That's why we here. We look at what is it going to bring us? What's the purpose of it? But you got to wait in order to see that. That's why I talk about hearing the conclusion of the whole matter, so you can see what's the purpose of the whole thing. Just like the purpose of you coming in and you offering a half a shekel is being more than what you can afford, but then you got to look at, we're talking about your soul. If it's something that doesn't cost you nothing, it really ain't none a whole lot of value to it. I go to the store sometime, they give me a couple of pennies. They say, wait your change. I say, I ain't even worried about it. I ain't gonna turn around and burn up no gas to go back to, hey, where my 2 pennies at? You can keep that junk, ain't nothing to me. So if I had to pay 2 pennies for my soul, I wouldn't think a whole lot of it. But if it's gonna cost me something, I got to consider. I got to look at what does it take in order for me to achieve that, just in order to try to get it for my soul, which means now I got to put a higher value and a higher cost on myself. Right. But when you can come to these places, come as I get on y'all, bro, y'all look like slop hog, beat up tennis shoe, raggedy clothes, look stink nasty, because you don't care. But this has never been something he's accepted. When you even look in the book of Zechariah, when you look in the book in the 5th chapter, when he found this man, and he told this man to put this man on some clean clothes. When he found Yahusha and put a clean mitre upon his head. He said, now the man Yahusha was filthy. He looked at me, you talking about coming for the Lord. Y'all come in, y'all look stink, you're musty, you're funky. Your junk ain't iron, your head nappy, your teeth yellow, and your breath smell like your booty. You talking about we coming for the Lord. Your code made his family change their garments before they came. Now he told, and you had to be clean. He said, we're going up to the house of all Ahim. Y'all will come nothing matter. That's why you don't change, because you don't see just how expensive. You don't see what your cost or your net worth is, because you've been valued by Christianity. That's why y'all don't make any, it don't matter. Whatever you got. You just going to hear the word, but not he done told you he ain't going to put nothing clean on unclean vessel. Why? He done told, how many times you heard, I'm not putting no new wine in no old bottle. And you come in, you're nasty, stink, and musty. And why you think he going to put the Spirit in that? That's bad. Made the man clean up before he did it, before he used him. You're going to be for signs. You and the people, y'all going to be for wonders. Everybody going to be wondering you sit up looking stink? People don't, I ain't trying to be on it. Everybody got that old nigga stuff. I ain't trying to be in no fashion show. You are when you trying to go pick up hoes. Or you trying to go to your family, you and some folk can see you, try to look better in front of your family. It's just when they come down and seeing the Most High, then you got that excuse to look like old nasty broomstick. Anything else they want to, they ain't going to go to no Class reunion like that.
No.
Because they want everybody to see them doing good.
Yeah.
I want people to see why he can't get your best.
That's right.
Man, every time he shows nothing but a hypocrite.
Yep.
Everyone ain't nothing but a hypocrite. Ain't about no fashion show. It's about who you're going to see. I'm looking to try to obtain something. If he ain't going to put no new wine in no old bottle, why am I going to come stinking filthy? Go and get that sister called Zachariah. Zachariah. I think that's... One, chapter 3? 3 and 1. 3 and 1. And then we're trying to finish this all up. This is Zechariah chapter 3, verse 1. Listen.
And he shewed me Yahusha, the high priest, standing before the Malachi of Yahuwah.
Y'all see that? He done seen Yahusha, the high priest, standing before one of the messengers of Yahuwah. Come on, son.
And Satan standing at his right hand to resist him.
So what word we going to use him? The sod. Appreciate you, good man. No good. That's right, the adversary. That's not the only definition. That's what we're using for this. So he saw the adversary. Come on.
And Yahuwah said unto the adversary, Yahuwah rebuke thee.
He said, Yahuwah rebuke thee.
O adversary.
O adversary.
Even Yahuwah that hath chosen Jerusalem rebuke thee.
Yes.
Is not this a brand plucked out of the fire?
He said, not this a brand plucked out of the fire.
Now Yahusha was clothed with filthy garments.
Yeah.
And stood before the Malachi.
Look at that. Now he was clothed with filthy garment. He done stood before the messenger.
And he answered and spake unto those that stood before him.
What did he say?
Saying, take away the filthy garments from him.
He said, that's all right, because I'm looking at his heart.
Take away the filthy garments from him.
And what happened, son?
And unto him he said, Behold, I have caused thine iniquity to pass from thee.
Yeah.
And I will clothe thee with change of raiment.
Yes.
And I said, Let them set a fair mitre upon his head.
And what else, son?
So they set a fair mitre upon his head.
Yeah.
And clothed him with garments.
Yeah.
And the Malachi of Yahuwah stood by. And the Malachi of Yahuwah protested unto Yahusha, saying,
Yeah.
Thus saith Yahuwah of hosts,
Yeah.
If thou wilt walk in my ways,
If you will walk in my way,
and if thou wilt keep my charge,
and if you'll keep my charge, and
then
keep the task I give you.
Then thou shalt also judge my house.
You hear this? Then I'm going to let you judge my house. Come on.
And shalt also keep my courts.
Yes.
And I will give thee places to walk among these that stand by.
Come on.
Hear now, O Yahusha, the high priest, thou and thy fellows that sit before thee.
Y'all hear this? Thou and thy companion that sit before thee.
For they are men wondered at.
They are men, which means they are what, brother? They are toot. Signs. Sign. This is the pictogram. This is the ancient letter. You know what's amazing about this, David? The two is our what? Last alphabet. Last alphabet. Now this is the ancient for it. This is the pictogram for it. You know what's amazing when you get through? Huh? That's the last thing you're supposed to do. After you do what? What you supposed to do? After you finish it now, you need to sign it. I'm going to need your signature. Huh? Because at that point, you finish. Make sense? That's amazing how they set stuff up. What do you think? When you get any contract you go, they say, where I pull the sign? They say, oh, get that back. Guess what they start doing? Putting X or highlighting where you need to sign. That's why I need your signature. And they'll tell you, make sure you read it first. Don't make sense for you to go and sign it until you read it. Which means when the son came, he had to complete stuff before he wound up signing it. Y'all miss stuff like that, ain't it? Sit at the 15th chapter book of Mark. Taking another turn right quick. Let's see something. The ancient is the X. This is the pictogram. Remember, some things we have pictograms for them. Well, pretty much all of them we have pictograms. Like when I showed y'all on the side, pictogram. That's pictogram. That's not the ancient signature. That's not the letter. That's the pictogram. So something we don't have to write, we can just put that there. And depending on what other words I have listed with it, what other alphabet, you'll know. Let's talk about the adversary. Huh? If you saw the sod when we was reading that's one purpose of recreating and putting the book together. Going back, taking the imperfection out and getting it back to perfection. So when you'd have looked at our writing when they started talking about the book of Zechariah, we were saying that the Malachi started the protest. When he started to talk, he was talking about who was standing at his right hand. So when we just saw this, we just knew the adversary. The pictogram will know this stands for the adversary. Based on the reading of what you're hearing, you know what this definition going to be for him. This is talking about the adversary. Y'all got it? Come on.
Chapter
15, it's 15, the last chapter. 16, last chapter. 15. Let me hit 22. Let me see that what I want. Listen.
And they bring him unto the place Golgotha, which is being interpreted the place of a skull, and they gave him to drink wine mingled with myrrh, but he received it not.
Come on.
And when they had crucified him, they parted his garments, casting lots upon them, what every man should take.
Yes.
And it was the 3rd hour, and they crucified him, and the superscription of his accusation was written.
Pay attention. Where was it written, that sign?
Over.
It was written over.
The Melachim of the Yahudim.
Come on.
And with him they crucify 2 thieves, the one on his right hand and the other on his left. And the scripture was fulfilled, which saith, and he was numbered with the transgressors.
Come on.
And they that passed by railed on him, wagging their heads and saying, Ah, thou that destroyest the temple and buildest it in 3 days, save thyself and come down from the cross.
Come on.
Likewise also the chief priests mocking said among themselves with the scribes, He saved others, himself he cannot save. Let Mashiach, the Melachim of Yahusha, descend now from the cross, that we may see and believe, and they that were crucified with him reviled him.
Come on.
And when the 6th hour was come, there was darkness over the whole land unto the 9th hour.
Yeah.
And at the 9th hour, Yahusha cried with a loud voice, saying, Allah, Allah, lama sabachthani.
Hold on. So he will actually say, all Yahoo. He would say, all for the who, brethren? For the olive. Then you got the Lamed. I know this is smaller than what y'all can see. And of course you got the Yod. Then you got the Hey. Then you got the Ooh. So he would tell him, all Yahoo. Listen what he said. Come on, son.
All Yahoo, Lama Sabatanai,
Which is what?
being interpreted, my Allah,
Which he was actually just saying. Guess what he just said? He just said that Yah was his all Ahim. That's what he just told you. Now listen what they're going to tell him. Come on.
my Allahim, why hast thou forsaken me?
Wow. My Allahim. Come on.
And some of them that stood by, when they heard it, said, Behold, he calleth Yeshayahu.
No. He was calling on all Yahoo, which is the name they would have had for Elijah. All Yahoo. If you take what their name was, listen. Yeah. Their name. That's what they had. Elijah. Don't forget what this is. What is this word? That's El. This is a fake El for God. Guess what? This J-A-H, which is supposed to be Y-H. So all this name meant was that Yah is my God. They just got it spelled wrong. His name is all Yahoo, which is telling you that Yah is my all Ahim. Makes sense now? Now they just told you who he called on to verify this. They just say he called on all Yahoo. Pattern. Pattern what we look. They don't know what they're doing do today. Let's see pattern. Tell me again what he said again. Read this again for me. What verse was that you were reading?
I just ended 35.
Pick me back at the beginning of 35. Let's see what he said. Other brother, you're going to jump over to 2 Samuel chapter 19 right quick, which is going to be Shamuel. Beth, which is going to let you know it's the second, right? Because that's your second Aleph Beth. We can also use Aleph Beth, referring on another situation. Uh-oh. Can my brother think of a situation that'll tell us this? I put first and second, or 1 and 2. Who? That could be good. Second, he's exactly right. The first and second Adam. In 1 Corinthians 15 chapter. Let's see what he told you. Other things y'all said now, don't think they were off, but that's what I was looking for. I was trying to find out. This is 1 Corinthians right quick, chapter 15. He still got me Shumayal, Beth, chapter 19. This is 1 Corinthians chapter 15 at verse 40. Let's hear verse 40. 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verse 40. Listen.
There are also bodies of the Shamayim and bodies of the Aritz.
Come on.
But the glory of the Shamayim is one, and the glory of the Aritz is another.
Come on.
There is one glory of the sun, and another glory of the moon, and another glory of the stars.
What happened, son?
For one star differeth from another star in glory.
So you know what he was talking about? He was talking about between those elements. The sun, the moon, and the stars all differ one from another. Come on.
So also is the resurrection of the dead.
We used the word before for that, different sort. Who remember when we used that? Y'all got a word. Y'all had an alphabet. Different sort. The what? The Zen. The Z-A-N. Different sorts. There's a different sort between those. Oh, my pen down, thank you. Oh, they gave me green. I want money, lots and lots of money. I think Black gonna do, thank you, sir. Gemini and a scholar. The Zen deals with different sort or to cut. So y'all write that down for your alphabet. We talked about that on when we dealt with this last week, didn't we? When he told you about the Malachi's were going to come. And they were going to separate, sort, different sorts. So now you start to look at the sun, the moon, and the stars, you're going to use the Zen because it's different sorts. The sun, the moon, and the stars, they're not the same. They differ. Come on.
So also is the resurrection of the dead. It is sown in corruption.
And it's what?
It is raised in incorruption.
Yes.
It is sown in dishonor.
And what happened?
It is raised in glory.
Yes.
It is sown in weakness.
Yes.
It is raised in power.
It is raised in power.
It is sown a natural body.
And what happened?
It is raised a spiritual body.
Yes.
There is a natural body.
And?
There is a spiritual body.
Come on.
And so it is written, the first man Adam.
So that, now we're looking at the Aleph, the Aleph. This is the first, right? The first man, we'll call him Aleph. Come on.
Was made a living soul.
Tell him what's happened, son.
The last Adam was made a quickening spirit.
Second. And Dale right when he quoted that, when he told you in the book of Abarim, he taketh away what was again?
First.
And that going to make sense because he took away Adam, didn't he? And he took away the first, and he could do what?
Establish the second.
He had established the second. Words you need to know for that. Establish. What alphabet we looking for, minister? Okay. You in deep study right now? That's smooth. I like that. The Samic. Write it down. Establish. What Dave quoted wound up putting another alphabet on the table. So when he took away the olive and gave you the Beth, then we're going to say he's Samic. Because he established. Let's remember, the Beth ain't going nowhere. It ain't going nowhere. Huh? Y'all all right? The Beth going to deal with the temple. It's going to deal with the house. It's going to deal with the family. It ain't going nowhere. Y'all all right? Come on, finish this. Well, we don't finish that. Jump back up. What I had you holding?
Mark 15.
Mark chapter 15. Let them get it. Mark chapter 15. What you have, Brandon?
Second Shamahu.
Yeah, I want that. You hold me that 15th chapter of the book of Mark. And he going to get me Shamuel, the 19th chapter. 2 Samuel, the 19th chapter, verse 1. And he still got me the 15th chapter of the book of Mark. We know what, verse 39 you said?
35.
35. Listen.
And it was told Joab, behold, the king weepeth and mourneth for Absalom.
Listen what happened. The king does what?
Weepeth and mourneth for Absalom.
He weepeth and mourneth for Absalom. For who?
Absalom.
So y'all ain't going to move this then. We're going to get rid. We still have his signature. We'll still have his signature. It ain't going nowhere. Ain't that right? And he weeping and mourning for who?
Absalom.
For Absalom. Go ahead.
And the victory that day was turned into mourning
And the victory that day would turn into mourning
unto all the people.
unto all the people.
For the people heard say that day how the king was grieved for his son.
What happened, son?
And the people gat them by stealth that day into the city.
What that mean? You know what's amazing about America? Make use in the Air Force. You know what's amazing about one of the planes they got? It's called a stealth fighter. Yeah, they got a stealth fighter. You know why it's called a stealth fighter? Because it can't be detected. That's why they call it a stealth fighter. So they let you know already. Now, they wrote this before they even came up with a stealth. They went away, snuck away, undetected because of Absalom. Amazing they did that. See if that's the 26th chapter, book of Matthew, 26. And we might cut the fan off for a little bit, just a little bit, I tell you. Well, don't do all that thinking, Joker. Everybody told you why all them heavy clothes, trying to build muscle, you got to have them. That's why I had to just throw at you in a way. Everybody do some waving here. Matthew, chapter 26, verse 13. Pick me up, matter of fact, make it 10, 26:10. Let's see what happened. Listen.
When Yahusha understood it, he said unto them, Why trouble ye the woman? Mm-hmm. For she hath wrought a good work upon me.
Yes.
For ye have the poor always with you, but me ye have not always. Mm-hmm. For in that she hath poured this ointment on my body, she did it for my burial.
Yes.
Verily I say unto you, whosoever this gospel shall be preached in the whole world, there shall also this, that this woman hath done, be told for memorial of her.
Come on.
Then one of the 12 called Yehuda Iscariot went into the chief priests and said unto them, What will ye give me, and I will deliver him unto you?
Yeah.
And they covenanted with him for 30 pieces of silver. Mm-hmm. And from that time he sought opportunity to betray him.
Come on.
Now the first day of the Feast of Weeks came. Now the first day of the Feast of Weeks, the disciples came to Yahusha,
come on,
saying unto him, Where wilt thou that we prepare for thee to eat the Passover? Mm-hmm. And he said, Go into the city to such a man and say unto him, The master said, My time is at hand.
Yeah.
I will keep the Passover at thy house with my disciples. Mm-hmm. And the disciples did as Yahusha had appointed them, and they made ready the Passover. Mm-hmm. Now when the even was come, he sat down with the 12, and as they did eat, he said, Verily I say unto you, that one of you shall betray me.
Yeah.
And they were exceeding sorrowful, and began every one of them to say unto him, Allah, is it I? Mm-hmm. And he answered and said, He that dippeth his hand with me in the dish, the same shall betray me. Mm-hmm. The Son of Man goeth as it is written of him, but woe unto the man by whom the Son of Man is betrayed. Mm-hmm. It had been good for that man if he had not been born. Mm-hmm. And Yehuda, which betrayed him, answered and said, Master, is it I? Mm-hmm. He said unto him, Thou hast said. Uh-huh. And as they were eating, Yahusha took bread and blessed it, and brake it, and gave it to the disciples, and said, Take, eat, this is my body.
See if it's 27 is what I want. 27:10. If not, hold me at 26 and 54. I had to clean it from down. Let me see if it's 27 coming on. Let me see that's what I want. 27:10. Listen.
And gave them for the potter's field, as Yahuwah appointed me. Mm-hmm. And Yahusha stood before the governor, and the governor asked him, saying, Art thou the king of the Yahudim? Mm-hmm. And Yahusha said unto him, Thou sayest. And when he was accused of the chief priests and elders, he answered nothing. Mm-hmm. Then said Pilate unto him, Hearest thou not how many things they witness against thee? And he answered him to never a word.
He did what now?
He answered him to never a word.
He did what?
Answered him to never a word.
Man, my mind went somewhere else now. Second Malachim chapter 18. My mind went somewhere else. That thing he'll do some rocking. They do the jailhouse rock. What's got there from Yahusha? Malachim, 2nd Malachim, chapter 18. Give me verse 30. Let's see what happened over here. Listen.
Neither let Hezekiah make you trust in Yahuwah,
Listen that. Neither let Hezekiah make you trust in Yahuwah. What happened, son?
saying, Yahuwah will surely deliver us,
Saying that Yahuwah will surely deliver us.
and this city shall not be delivered into the hand of the king of Assyria.
Listen.
Hearken not to Hezekiah.
We told y'all not to listen to Hezekiah. Come on.
For thus saith the king of Assyria,
What happened?
make an agreement with me
Make an agreement with me
by a present,
by a present. God, give me a gift. Give me an offering to go with it. Come on.
and come out to me, and then eat ye every man of his own vine, and every one of his fig tree, and drink ye every one the waters of his cistern,
Come on.
until I come and take you away to a land like your own land,
Listen.
a land of corn and wine, a land of bread and vineyards,
Yeah.
a land of oil, a land of olive oil, and of honey,
Yeah.
that ye may live and not die.
Come on.
And hearken not unto Hezekiah when he persuadeth you, saying, Yahuwah will deliver us.
Listen.
Hath any of the gods of the nations delivered at all his land out of the hand of the king of Assyria?
Yes.
Where are the gods of Hamath and of Arpad? Where are the gods of Sepharvaim,
Yeah.
Henna, and Eva? Have they delivered Samaria out of mine hand? Who are they among all the gods of the countries that have delivered their country out of mine hand?
Yeah.
That Yahuwah should deliver Jerusalem out of mine hand.
What happened?
But the people held their peace.
But the people did what?
Held their
The
peace.
people did what?
Held their peace.
Tell me when they talked, Brendan.
But the people held their peace,
And what happened?
and answered him not a word.
According to what?
For the king's commandment was, saying, Answer him not.
I wonder why whether he went answer them when he asked that man a question. Yukonon chapter 12, verse 40. I told you these folk don't know who that man is. I ain't even want that. They read something I ain't even want. But you can just see his pattern. All his pattern line up. He just went there, you know what first they do? Niggas start popping off at the mouth. He went there, he did just what he told him. Look what he told you for himself. At the 12th chapter of the book of Yukonon. Chapter 12, give me about verse 40. Let me see what that says. We'll read it down. This is what he said. Listen.
He have blinded their eyes and hardened their heart, that they should not see with their eyes, nor understand with their heart, and be converted, and I should heal them. These things saith Yeshayahu when he saw his glory, and spake of him. Nevertheless, among the chief rulers also many believed on him, but because of the Pharisees they did not confess him, lest they should be put out of the synagogue.
What did they love, son?
For they love the praise of men more than the praise of Yahuwah.
Come on.
Yahusha cried and said, He that believeth on me
Believeth who?
believeth not on me,
But on who?
him that sent me.
That's what folks say. Who y'all believe in? Y'all believe in the Son or the Father? You idiot. You believe on the Son, you got to believe in the Father. How you get a son and don't have a father? How did you have a son and don't have a father? How do you have a father and the father ain't got no kid? Then how are you a father?
That's right.
Don't come up, I'm here for Father's Day. You got any kid? Nope. You ain't a father. Listen.
And he that seeth me seeth him that sent me.
Listen.
I am come a light into the world.
So when we look at him at that point, we'll look at him as the moon. Because the book said he was the express image, which means the light of the Father bounced off on the sun. Listen.
That whosoever believeth on me should not abide in darkness.
Come on, son.
And if any man hear my words and believe not, I judge him not,
Yeah.
for I came not to judge the world, but to save the world.
Listen.
He that rejecteth me and receiveth not my words
The what?
hath one that judgeth him. The word that I have spoken, the same shall judge him in the last day.
Talk to me, son.
For I have not spoken of myself,
You did what now?
not spoken of myself,
Y'all hear what happened? He said, I didn't speak on myself. Tell me what happened.
but the Father
What did he do?
which sent me,
What did he do?
he gave me a
What did he
commandment.
give you? A what?
A commandment.
He gave him a commandment. Tell me what kind of commandment he gave him.
What I should say,
And what?
I should speak.
You hear how many things they done gave accusation against you and you ain't going to answer nothing? Look what he told you in Acts of the Apostle chapter 8. These folk don't know, do they? So guess what that put us at again? Since the Father gave him a commandment. Means to utter a command. Put you back at the olive. You can't never leave the olive, can you? Everything puts you right back at the first. Ain't no way to leave it. Wherever you go, listen. When you went down here to the dollar, guess where you want to have to go back to? Had to go to the limit. Go right back to the shepherd. Huh? Gonna put you right back at the shepherd. You can't ever leave him. There's no way to ever leave him. He your shepherd. He our God. Our Elohim. He everything. And everything we read, we find he right there. Isn't that right? That's what Dawood kept. Thou art with me. Thy rod, only brother have a rod, gonna be a shepherd. That's what Moses had. Every time he told him to do something, told him, straight forth thy rod. You're a shepherd. You leading the people. Straight forth your rod. Listen to the book.
Acts chapter 8.
At verse 20, at verse 30. Let's see what happened. Listen. Y'all ain't going to believe this. Listen.
And Philip ran thither to him and heard him read the prophet Yeshayahu.
He heard him read the prophet Yeshayahu, who they going to call Isaiah. Tell him what happened.
And said, understandest thou what thou readest?
Do you understand what you read? That's why we see him now. You got to have understanding. Purpose of him telling he going to give you alignment, which is going to feed you with knowledge and understanding. Listen.
And he said, how can I,
except
some man should guide me?
Right back to the alignment. I'm going to have alignment. What happened, son?
And he desired Philip that he would come up and sit with him.
Yes.
The place of the scripture where he read was this.
Tell me what he was, son.
He was led as a sheep to the slaughter.
He was led as a what?
Sheep to the slaughter.
He was led as a who?
Sheep
to the where?
The slaughter.
A sheep to the where?
Slaughter.
Slaughter. And like a who?
Lamb.
What happened?
Dumb before his...
Tell me what he do?
Before his shear, so open he not his mouth.
They missed that. Get what these folks going to do to him? They're going to wind up piercing the man his side. A sheep you wind up cutting. Going to put us right back at back at the zen. The cut. He done told him, you ain't going to answer me nothing? You don't know I got power to release you or power to put you to death? So guess what he wound up standing up like a lamb, dumb before his shears, so open he not his mouth. So he would have told them, the Father gave me a commandment on what I should say and what I should do. Everything he did was commanding him of the Father. Your Marshall Lee taught you that. It told you to train up a child in the way that he should go. That when he is old, he won't depart from it. That's why we mess up every time. People just trying to figure, go ahead and preach. Take one of these preachers and tell us, show me why he went open his mouth. Well, sometimes you heard how that sometimes like you start bubbling all, you just can't tell it all. That's what it is. That's what I was looking for. You just can't tell it all. When you got the glass down on the inside. Sometimes you can't say nothing. You just got to just wave your hands.
Wave your hand.
I know. That's what I'm looking for. Don't it make no sense, though, does it? Now when you start sitting back looking at everything he did was calculated.
Yeah.
Everything this man did was calculated. He had a reason why he didn't answer them. He did this on more than one occasion. Who we were dealing with in there when he was talking? In that 15th chapter. I'm sorry, not the 15th chapter. What was you reading that he would talk about when he went and answer him?
2 Malachim 18.
No, not
Mark
that. That was
15.
in Mark, the 15th chapter?
Oh, Mark 15.
See it in Luke chapter
Pilate.
23.
That was Pilate.
That was Pilate. Let me see something. See that come to my mind. 23, Luke chapter 23. Let me see. 23, start about 5. Let me see what that says. Let me see what 23:1 say. Listen.
And the whole multitude of them arose and led him unto Pilate, and they began to accuse him, saying, "We found this fellow perverting the nation and forbidding to give tribute to Caesar, saying that he himself is Mashiach, a king."
Yes.
And Pilate asked him,
Malachim would be kings. Malach would be king, Malach would be a king. Malachim would be plural. I'm trying to think in my mind. So M-A-L-A-K should be for king, if I'm correct now. Don't nail me to a tube. A Malach. Once you put the Y-E, you just went plural. Y'all got it? So he would say that he was a Malach, which would make him a king. Y'all got it? When it calls him kings of kings, then we could use it. He is a Malachim. Y'all got it? Listen.
And Pilate asked him, saying, "Art thou the Malach of the Yahudim?"
What happened, son?
And he answered him and said, "Thou sayest it."
Yes.
Then said Pilate to the chief priests and to the people, "I find no fault in this man."
Mm-hmm.
And they were the more fierce, saying, "He stirreth up the people, teaching throughout all Yehuda, beginning from Galilee to this place."
Mm-hmm.
When Pilate heard of Galilee, he asked whether the man were a Galilean.
Okay. I know he's going to Herod and do it. So pick me up at the 26th chapter, book of Matthew. So I deal with two things at one time then. 26:59. Listen.
Now the chief priest and elders and all the council sought false witness against Yahusha to put him to death, but found none.
What happened?
Yea, though many false witnesses came, yet found they none.
Come on.
At the last came 2 false witnesses,
Yeah.
and said, "This fellow said, I am able to destroy the temple of Yah,
Yeah.
and to build it in 3 days. And the high priest arose and said unto him, Answerest thou nothing?
Wow. So you're going to sit here and you ain't going to say nothing. Because the Father gave him a commandment, what he should say and what he should do. Everything, calculated. The reason why we look at this and why we touch on these things, because we were told in the book of Zechariah that he and the ones that he had given him were for signs. So if you had known and been taught the law, once you watched his behavior, you were going to know that's him. That's him. That lines right up with the book. The king had given them a commandment, Hezekiah, don't answer him a word. I don't care how much threatening that he give you and what they say. Answer him to never a word. When Yeshayahu would have told us he was led as a sheep to the slaughter and like a lamb, open he not his mouth, then we should have already knew that was him. He'd have started cussing, running his mouth. That's not him. You see how important it was for to believe on him as the scripture has said. At the 54th verse of that same book. Listen.
But how then shall the scriptures be
He
fulfilled,
told him about it when they came to take it. He said, how would the scripture going to be fulfilled? Tell me what happened, son.
that thus it must be?
He said, but thus it had to be. Tell me what had to happen, Brandon.
In that same hour
What happened?
said Yahusha to the multitudes,
What did he say?
Are ye come out as against a thief with swords and staffs for to take me?
Yeah.
I sat daily with you, teaching in the temple,
And what happened?
and ye laid no hold on me.
Yeah.
But all this was done,
But all this was what?
all this was done,
Tell him why.
that the scriptures of the prophets might be fulfilled.
Tell him what the prophet had said, son.
Then all the disciples forsook him and fled.
The reason why I took you over here to get you to realize what purpose? Absalom. Back to the second Shamuel, the 19th chapter. Let's look again. You still holding that 15th chapter. I'll clean up some stuff for y'all right quick before you go. Y'all don't appreciate that kind of teaching. Y'all come in, sleep, drag, and it ain't no big thing. You don't need to know who he is. You just wish you had known when you get down there and you catch on fire, though. Remember that song, Somebody Need to Catch on Fire? That's a good song, Catch on Fire. Yeah, they ain't lying. Christians come up with that. They right, you're going to burn with the Holy Ghost. That's the name of it. You need to catch on. Folks run around now, let me catch on fire. He said, oh, you are. You already kindling. And how I wish you were already burning. That's what he said. All right, listen to the book. 19th chapter, 2nd Samuel, chapter 19, verse 1. Listen.
And it was told Joab, behold, the king weepeth and mourneth for Absalom.
He weepeth and mourneth for Absalom. Come on.
And the victory that day was turned into mourning.
Y'all hear what happened? You know what happened with us? This talking about him.
Yeah.
The victory that, what was it?
Day was turned into mourning.
I can prove it out. I can prove it out. Pick me up at 1 Corinthians chapter 15. Verse 55. Other brother, get me Luke chapter 24 right quick. Luke 24 and 11. I can prove it out. These folks don't know what they're doing in their book. I ain't even one, but I can prove out what he said. See, that was it be reading, it just jump over. It don't matter. Just keep reading and keep going. And you know what happened? The Lord give you understanding. Just be praying. Just keep going. He give you understanding. And that's what he said in the scripture. If you just read and pray, I'm going to give you understanding. So I'll give you pastor. That's why the folk don't never get it. You'll find some people, you'll be like, they pretty knowledgeable. Keep listening. You'll hear the stupid start coming out. Most stupid stuff you say, it's just like he told him. I'm going to give you pastor. He'll let you get enough of it, you'll hang yourself with it. That's what a lot of them do. They wind up hanging themselves. Listen to the book. This is the 15th chapter of the book of 1 Corinthians, make it verse 55. Let me see what 53 say. Listen.
For this corruptible must put on incorruption.
This corruption must put on what was it? Incorruption?
Incorruption.
And what else got to happen?
And this mortal
got to put on what was it?
Immortality.
Immortality.
So when this corruptible shall have put on incorruption,
yes,
and this mortal shall have put on immortality,
what's going to happen at that point?
Then shall be brought to pass the saying that is written.
Tell me what it is.
Death is swallowed up in victory.
Death is what?
Swallowed up in victory.
Tell them what happened, son.
O death, where is thy sting?
Listen to that. O death, where is thy sting?
O grave, where is thy victory?
Talk to me, son.
The sting of death is sin.
And the strength of what?
Sin is the law.
Listen.
But thanks be to Yahuwah.
Which giveth us the what?
The victory.
Thanks be to who?
To Yahuwah.
Who give us the who?
Victory.
Tell them how we got it.
Through Yahusha HaMashiach.
At Luke chapter 24. That's right, Asa. He's a doctor. We need a physician. This is Luke chapter 24. Matter of fact, make it 24 and 1. Let's see what happened and what was going on at that time. Listen.
Now upon the first day of the week, early in the morning,
tell them what happened,
they came to the sepulchre, bringing the spices which they had prepared, and certain others with them, and they found the stone rolled away from the sepulchre, and they entered in and found not the body of Yahusha.
Come on.
And it came to pass, as they were much perplexed thereabout, behold, 2 men stood by them in shining garments, and as they were afraid, and bowed down their faces to the Aritz, they said unto them, Why seek ye the living among the dead?
Why seek ye the who?
Living among the dead.
Seek the living?
Among the dead.
Where is he at?
He is not here.
But he's what?
He is risen.
What happened?
Remember how he spake unto you when he was yet in Galilee, saying, The Son of Man must be delivered into the hands of sinful men, and be crucified.
And what happened?
The third day, rise again.
The third what?
Day.
What he gonna do?
Rise again.
All right, jump down to verse 11. Listen.
And their words seemed to them as idle tales, and they believed them not.
Come on, son.
Then arose Cuff and ran unto the sepulchre, and stooping down, he beheld the linen clothes laid by themselves, and departed, wondering in himself at that which was come to pass.
Come on, son.
And behold, 2 of them went that same day to a village called Emmaus, which was from Jerusalem, about 60 furlongs, and they talked together of all these things which had happened.
Come on.
And it came to pass that while they communed together and
while they were doing what now?
While they communed together and reasoned,
what could have possibly happened?
Yahusha himself drew near and went with them.
And what did he say?
But their eyes were holding that they should not know him.
And what happened?
He said unto them.
Now he had that conversation. He wanted to know. He said something to them. What do you want to know, son?
what manner of communications are these that ye have one to another
That you do what?
as ye walk and are sad?
This day will probably be a day of victory. And it will turn to morning. They missed this. Y'all miss a whole lot of stuff. Come the 25th, I want my check, I don't want no mouth. Can you afford to do this? You read 2 Samuel, how would you know this tied? You didn't even know this tied into this. They would have known. Why would Shmuel come along and tell you something like that? Shaul come along and start to tell you thanks be to him that giveth us the victory. You didn't get the victory. He told you when he got it. When he got up. Where's your sting? Oh, grave, where's your strength? And then he said he done gave us the victory, so we didn't get the victory till he got up. And then we find over here in 2 Shmuel that he tell us over here the day that should have been a day of victory, it would turn to sadness. Who do you think they were talking about? They don't know no better. Come on back to 2 Samuel. Boy, I tell you, I wish I had some people that love the word. This will mean something to people that want to be saved. Because this been in the book before you got a whole lot of other stuff. Yep. And the people that were there didn't even know.
Yeah.
Huh? The people that were there didn't even know. And now you come along now, we get information that been hid from these people. You think there was a book about Absalom? Listen. What verse we at?
Verse 2.
Second Shmuel, chapter 19. What verse?
Verse 2.
At verse 2. Listen.
And the victory that day was turned into mourning unto all the people.
Y'all hear that? The victory that day was turned into mourning for all the people.
For the people heard say that day how the Malach was grieved for his son.
You hear that? They heard how he was grieved for his son.
And the people got them by stealth that day into the city. As
the
people
snuck away. The people got away. Even when they came around to his disciples, he told them, this day all y'all going to be offended in me. Because it was written, if you smite the shepherd. The people got away and stealth. Them folks wound up getting away. Where Matthew went? Where Mark went? They made stealth. They got away undetected. Don't worry about it. You don't need to know this. It ain't important. Where you going, they're going to be so hot, anybody going to be talking about that kind of stuff anyway. This is what you're going to be using a lot of. You'll still be speaking Hebrew. Because you're going to be burning. You're going to be burning. When you do this, then they're going to put you over here. This is what you're going to be acting like. That's a koof. That's a monkey or an ape. When you be sitting down there burning, going, ooh, he goes, go ahead, monkey. Go ahead, ape. This is your opportunity. You got to learn this. This is your opportunity. You can't get this on the other side. These folk been making a koof out of you in the Christian church.
That's right.
You've been a koof all your life. Now you finally get a chance to see and understand everything ties into him. The whole book is about him. Listen.
As people being ashamed steal away when they flee in battle.
See that? Just like he said he got away. Just like people being ashamed. That's what they did. They were ashamed. So they stole away. They was in battle. He said, you done came out against me. A man come out against a thief with staves and sword like you come out against a thief. You know what they did? They made stealth. And only they made stealth because the scripture already wrote about it. When it came down to Dawood's son being taken and being killed, we getting out of him. That's what they looked at. Dawood's son was killed. We made stealth. We got out of there. We snuck away undetected. That's why we found out the king was angry concerning his son. That's the same thing they found out in the 27th chapter. Pick me up the 27th chapter, book of Matthew. We're going to finish up this over here, and I got to keep it moving. But, man, when you go, everything just keep connecting it somewhere. You're exactly right. It never stops. This is the only book you got. It ain't played out yet. It still it's some, like Kerry said, here's some more. Here's some more. People just don't want it, though. We done been Christianized so long, or crystallized to be Christianized, that we ain't got enough sense to even realize the whole book talking about him. We missed it. How many of y'all would have read 2 Samuel, Shmuel, and you'd have picked all this up? But yet when he sat down in Luke 24:25, he called them old fools and slow of heart to believe all the prophets have spoken. He said, ought not he that suffer these things to enter into his glory? And beginning at Moshe and all the prophets, he expounded them in all the, what was it? You tell me he'd have went past there. He'd have flipped right past the 19th, well, what we call the 19th chapter. Left that alone. The things concerning him. He'd have took them right there. 45, he'd have opened their understanding. They might understand the scripture. And that thus it was written. And thus it behooved him to suffer. And to rise from the dead the third day. And that repentance and remission of sin going to be preached in his name among all. But they're going to start right there at Jerusalem. When you find all those people that were gathered there, you do know who they were. They were the Yahudim, dispersed people. That already would have been from Pamphylia, Cappadocia, Phrygia, Pontus, strangers of Rome. Yeah, that's the only reason they've been there, because they were of the Yahudim. We've been dispersed, just like us. We come back. We're going to be from this godforsaken place they call America. But we are the Yahudim. We're going to come right back. Everybody got to come back. Everybody got to come back. Listen to the book.
Chapter 27.
Mm-hmm. Chapter 27, verse 49. Listen.
The rest said, let be.
This is Matthew chapter 27, verse 49. The rest said, let be. Let's see if.
Whether Elijah will come to save him.
Wow, Elias. Allah Yahoo will come to save him. Come on.
Yahusha, when he had cried again with a loud voice, yielded up the ghost, and behold, the veil of the temple was rent in twain.
When we said real, that we won't use ghost. That's their word. You got to put Casper. He gave up the Ruach. A lot of stuff here we will be correct. There ain't no way we can give up a ghost. You gave up the ghost before you came in. Everybody got to go. You supposed to give it up before you came in. You supposed to gave up Casper. Saints don't give up no ghost. We give up the Ruach, the spirit. Ghosts is what they gave it. That's how they make you so comfortable with playing and going and doing this seeking enchantment and wizard. Because you thinking you got the Holy Ghost, and then you going and inquiring of a ghost. You think we're in hand in hand. That's how they get a lot. That's why people bring these soothsaying in hand. You got to look at their word players. What's it? It's all a ghost, right? All a ghost is a spirit, bastard. So I just go to try to find out about the people that done left, trying to inquire the ghost to find out what's going to happen. I know. Now you dealing with familiar spirits. Listen.
And behold, the veil of the temple was rent in twain from the top to the bottom, and the arits did quake, and the rocks rent, and the graves were open, and many bodies of the saints which slept arose.
Come on.
And came out of the graves after his resurrection, and went into the Kudash city, and appeared unto many.
What happened, son?
Now when the centurion and they that were with him watching Yahusha saw the earthquake and those things that were done.
Look at what happened. Now when the centurion saw the earthquake and those things that were done, what happened, son?
They feared greatly, saying, truly, this was the son of Elohim.
So what you think happened? In the 19th chapter, again, of the book of Shmuel? We left out verse 2.
Verse 3.
Hopefully we'll get the move down. Let's see.
And the people got them by stealth that day into the city, as people being ashamed steal away when they flee in battle.
Yeah.
But the Malak covered his face.
Well, before you went there, verse 2.
And the victory that day was turned into mourning unto all the people. For the people heard say that day how the Malak was grieved for his son.
How who?
The Malak was grieved for his son.
The Malak?
Malak.
Come on.
And the people got them by stealth that day into the city, as people being ashamed steal away when they flee in battle.
Come on, son.
But the Malak covered his face, and the Malak cried with a loud voice, O my son, Absalom.
The king. I had to think in my mind, he was saying the Malak, talking about for the king. I would think he was saying the angel. I'm like, the angel? So the people knew that he was angry concerning the death of his son. Y'all got that? The reason why I took y'all to Matthew is because the centurions knew he's angry about his son because they heard the earthquake. They saw the things were done. They were recognizing he's upset because this is his son. The people recognized that when Daud was crying and weeping, that he was upset about the death of his son, and the people scattered. He had told the people who he was the son of. But the centurion recognized that. All this happened because of this man. He's upset about his son. The king was weeping. They would have got rain that day. That would have been your first rain. That part of your covenant. You would have got rain that day. They knew he was upset about his son. Come on, let's see what happened.
And cried with a loud voice, "O my son Absalom, Absalom, my son, my son."
So he just said that my son is the father of peace. Now we find Yahusha, who is the son of Daud. Now he told you a statement in the book of Yehukanan, the 5th chapter, the 17th verse. He said, hitherto my, guess what happened? Daud, who is my father, started crying out for his son. I do the same thing. Daud is crying out concerning the father. His son. He's calling the father his son. Ab for father. Salam for peace. He's called the man the father of peace. The father, it just told you that he was crying concerning his son. He just said his son was the father. They miss all that, don't they? Amazing he wound up crying about Absalom, Absalom. What did he say?
My son, my son.
And he cried, Allahim, Allahim. He just said he cried out that the father was his son. At the 22nd chapter, book of Matthew. Just don't know do what they do. What are they going to do with this? The man just sat here and told you who the father was. You know who the father is, right? That's my son. You just cried out, and you get me Yeshayahu chapter 9, verse 6. Let's see what he tell you. They don't know what they're doing with this book. I tell you, folks, these people are be arrested. He just sat here and told you that the father was his son. You just call out, Absalom, Absalom, the father peace, father peace. Then I'm going to say, name, my son, my son. Look what he told you, 22:45. Matthew chapter 22. 47 is what I want.
44.
44.
43.
All right, 43. Listen.
He saith unto them.
Make it 42, Brandon. You know you should have came.
42. You said, yeah, 42.
Make it 41 because you think you're so smart. I still want to fight you after Shabbat. Come on.
While the Pharisees were gathered together, Yahusha asked them, saying, What think ye of the Mashiach?
What think ye of the Mashiach?
Whose son is he?
Whose son is he?
They say unto him, the son of Daud.
Now he just said the son of Daud. Come on.
He saith unto them, How then doth Daud in spirit call him Allahim, saying, The Allahim say unto my Allahim, Sit thou on my right hand, till I make thine enemies thy footstool.
Listen now.
If Daud then call him Allahim, how is he his son?
Because you sure got to look at that. These people got to sit here and look at that man calling on Absalom. That's the father. Then you say he your son. How exactly did that work? How exactly is the father your son? Because I got a father. I'm your father. Am I your son? Let's see what he told them at the first chapter of the book of Romans. Some of y'all familiar with this. Romans 1:1. Y'all familiar with this. He still got me Yeshayahu chapter 9. Absalom, father of peace. No, they spell the salam different anyway. They might well be spelling salami. Listen to the book. Romans 1:1. Hold on. Turn your mic off. Come on, son. His mic's still off. What you do, big man?
Shaul, a servant of Yahusha HaMashiach, called to be an apostle, separated unto the gospel of Yahuwah,
Listen.
which he had promised afore by his prophets in the Kudash scriptures concerning his son, Yahusha HaMashiach, our Elohim,
Our Elohim, which would be our God. Come on.
which was made of the seed of Daud, according to the flesh,
That's how he was his son, according to the flesh. And what else happened, son?
and declared to be the son of Elohim with power,
What it would have been when he'd have resurrected. Isn't that
Acco-
right? That's what he said. All cuff is given unto me. Listen.
according to the spirit of Kudash,
Was according to the Ruach of the Kadash. Come on.
by the resurrection from the dead,
By the resurrection from the dead.
by whom we have received grace and apostleship for obedience to the faith among all nations for his name,
What happened, son?
among whom are ye also the called of Yahusha HaMashiach,
Yes.
to all that be in Rome, beloved of Yahuwah, called to be saints, grace to you and peace from Yahuwah our Father,
Wow. Unto all of who?
to all that be in
To
Rome,
all that be in Rome,
beloved of Yahuwah,
beloved of Yahuwah, which is the Father. Come
called
on.
to be saints,
Now you called to be saints.
grace to you,
Grace.
to you,
Grace to who?
to you,
And what else, son?
peace.
I just said Absalom. I just sat here and told you how he was his son, according to the flesh. And he was declared to be the son of Yahuwah with power. If you kept reading, he just said greetings out the wrong. Concerning Yahuwah, not Yeshua, not Yahusha. And then he just told you grace
To
and
you,
peace.
and
Salam.
peace.
That's what they do. 9th chapter of the book of Yeshayahu. They'll miss that. Kept reading, he gave you the name right now, if you put it together. Because Yahuwah is the Father. Then he just told you peace. So we just say Absalom. Father of peace, wouldn't we? Let's see what he told us. 9th chapter of the book of Yeshayahu. 9 and about 6. What he told us, son?
For unto us
A child.
is born,
Unto who?
us
Or who?
son is given,
Tell them what happened, son.
and the government shall be upon his shoulder,
What's the government, brethren? The rule. Come on, son.
and his name shall be called
One,
Wonderful,
Counselor.
the Elohim,
Yeah.
the Everlasting Father,
Tell them about his other name, son.
the Prince of Peace.
So we're going to call him the ruler of peace now. Huh? He going to be the ruler of peace, and he going to be the everlasting Father.
And the Son.
Can we just say Absalom?
Yeah.
Let's see what else he told us.
Of the increase of his government
Or the increase of his government. We got a word for that one too. Come on.
and peace,
And peace.
there shall be no end
Tell them to do what, son?
upon the throne of Daud,
So we right back to the throne of Daud. So we should have been looking for Absalom coming from Daud. We should have been looking for Absalom to sit on the throne of Daud. He just told us what he's going to call it, everlasting Father, ruler of peace. So we can call him Absalom. Absalom came through David's loin. That was his son. Now we found a man that come along that's going to fit this criteria. What else is going to happen, son?
and upon his kingdom
And
to order it,
to do what?
order it,
And what else, son?
and to establish it with judgment and with justice from henceforth, even forever. The zeal of the Elohim of hosts will perform this.
Oh. To establish it. Right back to the stomach. To establish it. You're ancient for this. For the stomach. That's your ancient alphabet for the stomach. Because he's going to establish it. Y'all all right? Amen. So we found what Dawood told us, that the father of peace was his son. Then we found when the son came up, and he told you that Yahuwah was his Elohim. We found out where he come from in the flesh, according to the flesh, to connect to Dawood, and we found out according to the spirit where he come out from the Father. Y'all all right? Amen. Well, thank the Lord. There's more, but y'all heard enough today that hopefully you'll put some things in your heart and in your mind just to consider. And I definitely, again, tell everybody watching in on the other end of the camera, please don't use this for a crippling tool to go and say, you got a pastor and you sitting there and you doing nothing. You're contributing nothing. You're obeying nothing. You're sitting and listening for free and doing nothing and gaining nothing, and you can't be saved like that. You got to have a watchman for your soul. Now, again, I definitely don't say it so I can be everybody's watchman. Ain't my job. I can't do it. Too many people. I ain't got enough hair to pull out. These people have bald-headed me enough, but you got to have a watchman for your soul. Everybody in here, everybody out there, there's a lot of people, there's a lot of things you ain't got. But a lot of things you can't say. You ain't without no pastor. And you ain't following no blind guide. Y'all hear me? It come out the plan of salvation and how we got to live and how we got to operate. The Most High been gracious to us. Y'all hear me? There's a lot of people out there, listen, they can't be saved. I wouldn't die in their condition. They get to hear everything y'all hear and watch the same videos y'all watch. They can't die and get in without no pastor. That ain't going to happen. Y'all hear me? Even the unit realize that somebody got to guide me. You're going to have leadership. Y'all hear me? Even Yahuwah told it. He said that Elohim is my shepherd. You got to have a shepherd. You got to have a leader. Just like me, I got a leader. You got it. How these people out here make everybody got a leader except for them? I answer to somebody. I got to be taught by somebody. These people have no leadership. How they going to make it? That's what Moshe tried to tell them. You're going to be a congregation, going to be just like sheep without a shepherd. You in a mess. People sit out here and they gambling with their soul. So you know what? Everybody want the cheap way. The cheap, easy way. Just sit, listen, don't obey nothing. Nobody tell you nothing. Do what you want. Take what you like, what you don't like. Then you can do, because you can always say, he ain't my pastor. And that's a good thing. So when you burn down in the lake of fire, you always have that to your credit. You ain't have no pastor. You got to have leadership, folks. Y'all hear me? You got to have leadership. Don't let nobody make no fool out of y'all. I know it's tight. I know I get on y'all, but you know what? You got to get it that way. You got to have leadership. You got to take correction. Everybody got to get it. Y'all hear? Even me, I got to take correction. One way or another, if I don't get no correction, I'm a bastard. Y'all hear me? Everybody got to get it. That's to show whether or not you're going to stay. Even the son, he can't hunt. What sin he committed? He had to take that correction, though. He ain't just take no tongue lash, did he? Slap that joker. Hit that spit on him. You're going to have to take that correction. If you're going to be his child, you're going to take that correction. That's going to show you who's going to sit there and who ain't going to take it. Y'all hear me? Amen. If you're going to be saved, you'll take it. At the end of the day, you look at, I got to be saved. That's the only thing matter. I got to be saved. If you wrong, if it's wrong when you take the correction, he'll come and prove you out. Did he deserve that? Didn't he prove it out? Did he tell her they were wrong when they were hitting him? He never tell her, if you just live and do what you're supposed to do, let the Lord vindicate you. Ain't that right? Don't worry about trying to fight your battle. Let him vindicate you. He'll prove you out. Them video them folk make, I don't make no video to come back at them people. I can care less about them people video. Every time they get shot down. The Lord going to prove you out if you're faithful. If you're going to say try to prove your own stuff out, then you ain't trying to seek his glory. You're trying to seek your own. Y'all hear me? Amen. A lot of these folk find out about me. They're going to have to. I ain't trying to seek my own glory. I just put it out here. People ain't crazy. They got to come to the truth. Tell them, David, why you moved down here, David? Okay, don't worry about it. We'll talk about it next week. It took too long. Now, why you moved down here, David? Join the church. What church you trying to join? The Way of Yah Synagogue of Yahusha. You trying to join that church? The Way of Yah Synagogue Church. The Way of Yah Synagogue Church is where you trying to join to. Synagogue, there we go. It took a while, David. We finally got there. That's beautiful. Came all the way from New Jersey. That's all right, David. They were going to have to drive. I'm going to pull them. Prince, we got you from Colorado, didn't we? While you was on that phone, you sounded skinny. I had to put a wage up, too. I'm just telling you what I did. I heard your voice. You might tell, I said, you slim, man. You kind of me. I thought she was kind of Colorado. I ain't know they had black folks in no Colorado like you. I ain't even know Colorado had no darkest. I thought you from Colorado. I said she probably slim, light-skinned, got that curly hair. Then that baby hair. You only had to wet it up and be down there. Look at Beat the mouth. Oh, Beat it, stop drooling. But you had to come here, didn't you? Then you talk on that phone like you were white, though. I thought she was white on that phone I was talking to her. But don't worry about it. We still took you, though, didn't we? That's right. It didn't matter about the color. We had to take them. David, I'm going to have my hand full, boy. I tell you the truth. It's only me. I just look up. Sometimes I just say, it's me. I'm the type of pastor, though. You know what, though, honestly? I'm the type of pastor, though. I had to be open for all groups, all types, all behaviors, all sizes and shapes and looks, all attitudes, all non-responsive. I'm the only one. I'm not the only pastor. It ain't a lot of people can handle take what I take, though. I get the weirdos, the freaks, the crazies, the nuts. Then I get some normals. It's kind of like you get them jelly beans. That's that black one, but it's in there. Y'all don't see them, you buy that Russell Stover candy, you see them pretty, they start showing you what's on the box. But to get the good ones you want, you got to get them other ones that you ain't going to like. Some of them you eat, you like, who put this garbage in here? They're like, it come with the box. I just realized when I get out, y'all, it come with the box. I had to get the good ones, you know what I'm saying? The good one you like, man, what they put more than this? Eat them too. It's just like when your Yukonana ate, eat the whole roll. He said, they got in my belly. So it was sour. He said, in my mouth now, it was sweet. But you know what? I like my job. I'm kind of a unique type of person that's able to, everybody can't deal with everybody. I can deal with anybody on any type of, I don't care, educated, illiterate, I don't care the way you got money or you dead broke. Anybody hard to do it with me. It's just been honest. Most of these people, if you ain't got nothing you bring it to the table, you know anybody finna take y'all. A lot of y'all ain't gonna leave, ain't nobody gonna take you. That's why some of y'all ain't leave. As soon as you leave, you start calling them folks that, where you come from? I was over there to where click. You know too much, and they know if you done left here, you're a mess already. They like, you ain't finna mess us up over here. When y'all get in them places, you got to fill out that W-2 and all that paperwork and show them people your insurance card and stuff. You know you done. It's just like some of them jobs. You know, they even fill out the paperwork. You know good and well them folks ain't finna hire you. But y'all come on over here, and it's this place that's just, this pastor that just love everybody. David, you just knew I was going to take you, didn't you? I know it. I say, yeah, I ain't going to be able to turn you down. You need me, don't you? I'm here to help you. That's what I do. That's what I do. I love people. I like to laugh and have fun. I love people. Because you know what? I come out of churches and organization. If you didn't have nothing, if you wasn't nobody, you ain't going to make it. You know what I'm saying? I can't replace it. Them folks brought me through the hard way. They would say stuff that'd be cruel to you, man. That stuff, that'd be cruel to you. And if you didn't have nothing, you wasn't going to be nothing, and they just shoot you down so bad, they just kill you, they pull all the unk out of you. You know what I'm saying? But I was a fighter. You know what I'm saying? I fight past regardless of what they say. They come up there, I'm a grown man with kids tell me, you good boy. Like a boy. I'm a grown man. Call me a boy. They would do that because they were older like that. Oh, yeah, they just older people, just grouchy. They just see you fail. Some of them come up to you and they meet you out a couple years, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, what's he like? Yeah, I bet they said, they ain't want to meet you because I ain't think you were going to be here that long. They'd be like, what kind of stuff is that? Man, I fought through a lot of bad people. Those churches made me, though. I wouldn't have it no other way, though. They made me. And I made them, too. I broke some people that looked like they couldn't be broken. I broke them. Ain't that right? They saw who was going to stand and who was going to fail. I broke them. But you know what I'm saying? When you come through like that, a lot of times I never understood why I suffered some of the stuff I suffered with those people and why I had to deal with some of the stuff through them. But then, you know, here with the way of y'all, when you come through, you kind of get people and you realize there's a lot of people out here that can't take a whole lot. That's why I give a lot. That's why I kind of beat. I know everybody, I watch them people, man, they run people out the door. They're like they set them up to fall. They set them up to fail every time. You just be like, what kind of life you got? You just sit up and you just waiting on people to fall. You just set them up so you can just see them fail. You know what I'm saying? And just realize what people, man, just sat there and served. It was later. She got them just ran out the service, but just ran out, just left. Quit. These people go to the street back to drink and go. You know what they said? They was a hypocrite in a way. But then it was like, it would be different if they walked off from the word, but they walked off because of the way you treated them, how you set them up. You know what I'm saying? And they just sat there and lived for it. You know what I'm saying? That was their whole life, living for people to just fall. And you know, you come along, you look at it, you just realize you got to keep the standard right and you got to love people. You got to tell them some stuff they don't want to hear at the end of the day. But you got to be able to know, people got to be able to know you care about them. That's all people want. The average person, people hadn't even really told them they love them, not genuinely. Most time people told they love you, been on your back or on your belly. You've been paying for some or buying some. Isn't that right? Most people ain't going to just tell you, you ain't got nothing. Nobody care. Nobody going to help you get it. Nobody don't care. If it's you, your problem, your family, that's yours and nobody cares. And that ain't never been the way his system ever been set up for. You know that? It ain't about how much money we going to accumulate, what we going to get. It's about having that love. He said, by this, all men going to know you my disciple. You got love one for another. I'll cut into every one of y'all. You do something you ain't got no business. But I guarantee that I love you. I'll be genuine. If you ask me something, I ain't going to tell you no lie. Have I lied to any of y'all? It might be the truth you ain't want to hear or more than what you want. It might have hurt your done feeling. But I guarantee you need somebody to get your back. I'm going to be there and get your back. If I can't treat you right, I guarantee that I won't keep you here. I ain't going to set nobody up and put them on no gun under me and I can't treat you right. I already know you can't win that battle. There's no anywhere you can win no fight with me. How you going to win him? Set you up for failure just to set you here and say, I'm going to just watch you fail and fall and stay on top of you to fall. You ain't going to do no good. That ain't fair. I'm the type of man I believe in right. If I seen a person I feel like he ain't going to make it, I just say, listen, man, I'm being with you. I ain't going to be able to help you, man. You be talking about, what? Come on, what? You can ask all you want to. He put on me and say, I ain't going to be able to help you. I'm going to tell you, I ain't going to keep none of y'all here and I know you ain't going to make it. I just ain't fair to a person. Tell me the truth. It might hurt my feelings, but tell me the truth. I want to know if I got a fair chance. If I ain't got a fair chance, please don't set me up to just make me fair. Let me know so I can go on ahead and jump in front of the expressway or something. Please don't just drag me along because you got some other hidden agenda. Place I came from, they'll do it to you. They'll do it to you. So I thank the Most High for, just the type of person he made me to be. Ain't no glory to myself because there's some people out here that need a pastor. There's some people that need somebody that can understand them when you've been misunderstood your whole life. There's some people that need somebody to be right there and know the right thing and who know you and everything you ain't got to say, you just kind of know. You know what I'm saying? There's some people you in your whole life, you try to explain yourself, people don't understand. David, I understand you. I like to have fun with you too. You come on this agenda now, I'm going to be working with you. Isn't that right? But I love you and I treat you right. I ain't going to mistreat you. Isn't that right? I remember Brother Alvin came. He sat with me in my office. He had all this stuff. I had just come in the door. They told me. They said, brother him from California. I said, oh, all right. They said, he got all his stuff. I said, oh, boy, what didn't happen to him? And he sat down and showed me everything. And I saw the sincereness in his heart. He told me. He said, I love you. He said, I love you. He said, don't mistreat me. He said, whatever you do, don't mistreat me. Have I mistreated you, Brother Alvin? I would never put nobody all the way out like that and mistreat them. What you give people is what you're going to get back in return. Every one of y'all remember that. What you give people, what you're going to get back in return. Every place you go to and you put your whole heart out with them people, they'll burn you, they'll leave you there. I know because I've been burned, and that helped me become the man I am today. I wouldn't want to do that to people the way I've been treated by other people. But I thank the Lord for going through it because it made me. Y'all hear me? It takes something to walk away. A lot of y'all walked away from everything y'all had to be him. A lot of y'all walked away from family, job, careers, a whole lot of things. I wouldn't mistreat you. I wouldn't mistreat you. I know I get hard on you sometimes. It's only because I care. I make no apology for every one of y'all. I stayed on top of you and I hurt your feelings. But I should apologize if I hadn't been doing you right. And I don't make no apology because I know I've been doing y'all right. You hear me? Because I care about you. I don't want you to ever go out here and never have to worry about making a fool out you again. I get on y'all about stuff, how you dress, how you do stuff, because I know if people out here that will get you and they will take advantage of you. If people that ain't going to understand, they'll lie and say they understand, and they will use you for everything you got. And once their agenda accomplished, you ain't included. I told y'all when it's time for us to get out of here and we head back to Jerusalem, I'm not leaving one of my members behind or none of us going. I'm taking all mine with me. You hear me? If you one of mine and you staggering around, I'm saying, close your eyes, let's pray. I'm going to knock your nigga behind out. When you wake up, you will be in Jerusalem, already dressed. And don't ask who changed your clothes. You just be serving the Lord. Tell him just praise him. Don't be asking no question. Every one of mine leaving out of here when I'm leaving. Y'all hear me?
Yes, sir.
I ain't leaving out one behind. I don't care what you got. When it's time for it to go, we all getting out of here, including these kids. So we get ready to go. Y'all ain't going to have time to leave no notes. We all riding out of here. Y'all hear me? Because we a body. That's how it ought to be. Y'all hear me?
Amen. Yes, sir.
I love every one of you. All I ask y'all to do is love one another. There's going to be a bunch of folks going to come through the door. Some going to be nutty as a nun, a bucket of boat. Some of them going to have some sense. Ain't going to be many of them. But we're going to take all of them. When you get through, they're going to be geniuses. Look at the Val. Look how much we done did with him. He still got that motorcycle ramp, but he was worse than that. We've been working on you you came in here, you was a skinny motorcycle riding head rapper. Now you're a fat motorcycle riding head Yehudian that think he's still a rapper. I don't know if we done better or done worse, but anyway, we still working. Isn't that right? We ain't perfect yet, but we working. There's everybody in here. I tell y'all, hang in here. It get tight, it get hard, but don't give up.
Amen.
It's harder out there. Man, you get out there with them people cruel out there. Y'all hear me? Even Daoud realized that when he transgressed. He told me, let me fall in the hands of the Lord. My enemy is cruel. Them people get you back, they're going to be cruel to you. People, he laugh at me, go on back out there and see what they're going to do. When they get your behind back out there, see what they're going to do. They're going to use your behind up. They're going to make so much mockery of you when they get you. We get through, it's going to be on you to make you better.
Amen.
I want every one of y'all to stand and make sure y'all get this in y'all. That's why I get y'all come here and sleep. Dragon, CJ, you was sleep. I'm glad. Don't put them on. They make you look worse when you go to sleep. Your eyes look humongous. They're like big round golf ball. Look like 8 balls off a pool table chasing me when I be up here. But y'all need to look and stay awake and get this word in y'all heart. I can't tell y'all that enough. As simple as this stuff might sound, it's in there for a reason. You've got to know this. The key is a lot of people not going to get it, and that's how they're going to be left out. Everything we transition to, you only do it because that's the word. He's going to restore. He's going to return back to us. That's why we're concerned about the ancient and not so much the modern. Y'all are messing around. This is your salvation. Once this man come through and give us what we need, that's it. A lot of these people out in these Gentiles, they ain't getting in. Let me tell you something else. A lot of y'all in here, black skin, you ain't no Yehudi. Hold on, but you can't keep telling that lie. Everybody, a lot of we don't know where we come from. For all you know, you be Gentile. We assume a lot of things. Y'all know how many people were moved and displaced through slave trade? People were kidnapped out of Africa that did not come from Jerusalem. We've been dispersed and that was the purpose. Everybody guessing. From looking at maps of slave trade saying this ship sailed from him, so these people are more likely. Like they don't went on the boat. Come, just say, come here, dog. That's a boat. Come on, come on, come on here. Come on, son. Come on, come on here. Come on, y'all get in the line of the boat. Come on, boat. Come on, hit the boat. Come on, boat start. Go. Come on, boat start. Stop. Levi, come on. Stop. Never tell it. Come on. Yehuda, come on. I don't know where to put some. That bad is chipper just a little bit. Yeah, he got a problem with lotion, ashy. I was saying that to say, so you telling me these people picked up everybody, got everybody tribal name where they from, then put them on the boat, section them off, and brought them and dropped each one of them off. You see what I'm saying? We take a lot of stuff off of assumption these people told us. Man, we got people being dropped off South America, everywhere. How they knew where to drop everybody off at? How did we know this information? You can find laws of slave ships where they came to and docked, but when they docked and got out, where exactly all did they go and get these people from? What these people all had? J's on them, M's on them, A's on them. I'm just saying, how do you know what you grab? You herding up people. It's just like a fish when he throw a net. You might have something in mind, but that net's subject to grab up some of everything. So a lot of stuff we all take for granted, for all we know, we can actually be Gentiles. The important thing of why I say that, it don't matter what we used to be, it's a matter of what you are now. That's the whole key. The apostle Shaul told us good, that they that are of the flesh, these are not the children of Abraham. So let's go ahead and give it for what it's worth. We are 100% with a 5% margin of error, more to perfection than less than taking away depletion. That we are of the Yahudim, and we're from the tribe of Yehuda. According to what Shaul said, you still not the children. So we can't go and count this after the flesh. He said the children are accounted to the promise. That's because you have to go back and look at the 17th chapter of Bereshit. He told him that he was going to visit Sarah at that time next year. So he gave an appointed time for her. That was the child of promise. A lot of us come along, you're not of the promise. That's why we got to be careful about being so confident in ourselves because of the flesh. We're looking toward the spirit of the Ruach. Y'all got me? That spoke and that came because of the promise. Y'all got me? Now, all this stuff is supposed to happen until the Gentiles get in. There's only a time period that he's allowing the Gentile to get in. Then y'all do know what he's returning, right? The book says he's returning back to his people. He's got to turn back to Yashrael. The book said he has not cast away his people that he foreknown. That would be an idiot statement, as idiot it would be for you to think that he has gotten rid of whom they call Esau. You have to go back and look at what his father gave him. He let him know that after he had become restless, that he was going to get the dominion back. All that was given to Yaakov is going to be given right back to him. Because you got to remember the law. He is the firstborn. He is the firstborn. Yahusha clearly came and showed you that he represented who you call Esau. He gave up his birthright for a meal. Only person I knew to do that was Esau. He also became a red man. His garment was red, as was Esau. His dominion was the dew under the heavens and what they call the earth. And he told y'all that foxes have holes, birds have nests. He said he didn't have nowhere to lay his head. That was the dominion that was given to Esau. Okay, tell y'all want to. Yahoo asked y'all, who is this that come down from Bozrah with dyed garments? Why are thou red and dyed apparel? That time me right back to him. Before they wind up sticking him in his side, he became blood and he wallowed in it. As did Amaziah did. They said and took a red robe and covered him with it. Just like Esau. Hairy man. And he was red all over. That's going to be him. You done been plucking on his beard, his face red. Huh? You been slapping him in his face. You done stuck him on his head with thorns. And then you done put a red cloth all the way around him. Who is this with dyed garments? Why was he red in his apparel? All right, y'all do it y'all way. Listen, folks, while y'all be sleeping, y'all be playing. There's a whole lot of things going on, and people missed it. And they weren't supposed to catch it. As far as people go with Esau is what? He sold his birthright. That's it. He sold it for a morsel of bread. Stupid, dumb idiot. And then you forget a man, he was mimicking somebody. He was simply the moon. You hadn't even seen the sun, huh? Because the son came and sat down and gave up his birthright for some food. All right, I'll do it y'all way. He come back in, you don't think he get in the room? Because he represent the eldest son. He coming back. Huh? Yahusha told him, after you don't become wrestler, he said, you're going to break your brother's yoke from off your neck. He breaking the yoke off the neck. Y'all do it y'all way. Don't worry about it. Stay asleep. Y'all hear me? Just like the book of Kazun told you. He that is filthy. No, it don't matter what you have on if you dirty. And the man been tell y'all about being filthy. He told you to be filthy still. Because I'm coming quickly, and my reward is with me. And I'm going to give it to every man according to where it's going to be. I'll finish this one for you. The Gamal. That's on your Aleph Beth. You know what one of the definitions of that is? Reward. He coming quickly. His Gamal is with him. He going to give it to every man according to work should be. That's the Gamal, the Gamal. And guess what else you find over him? The Lamed. Only person going to be able to come and give you the Gamal, it's going to have to be the Lamed. I do how y'all want to do. Do how y'all want to do it. At the end of the day, though, we got to get this stuff right. Y'all got it? Amen. Whatever y'all do, y'all purging your heart to live right. I don't care what comes, what happens, purging your heart to live right. You're going to cry sometimes. You're going to get misunderstood. People ain't going to treat you right. At the end of the day, that go along with where you're trying to go. The man, all you got to always remember is the way they treated you, did they treat him the same way? Then they line up. Then they line up. You don't get just for everything you give out, then they line up. They hated you without a cause. Guess what? If folk hate me, I don't even know these people. Guess what? It line up with him. They ain't got no reason to hate me. But guess what? It line up with him, don't it? You got to keep going in spite of afflictions and suffering. You just got to keep going. It line up with him. That's what y'all got to look. Does what you do line up with him? That's good, brother.